Hello. Welcome back to my channel. And in today's podcast, we're going to talk about playful points. So today we are going to talk about the playful point and the difference between GBL, gamification, and serious game. So today we are going to start with the introduction. We are going to introduce the meanings. I am going to introduce myself, and then we are going to talk about some different meanings, and at the end we are going to talk about my experience as a teacher. So we are going to start with the introduction. So what is playful point? So playful point is an, a different way to introduce ludic elements to improve motivation and attention. You can introduce motivation and attention in different ways. So I think playful point is the most important, or one of the most important way to introduce the games in class without the part of the teaching. So you can introduce funny moments while you are keeping the class environment. So you can introduce, for example, some different games, but while we are playing those games, the student are in class, are making some activities, are improving their skills. So I think it's a good way to introduce. You can introduce in different ways. For example, mystery boxes. So you can do an activity, and at the end of the activity, you can say, if you have maybe, for example, 10 points at the end of the class, you have a mystery box, and you can open it or keep the points to the another class, and you can choose when you want to open the mystery box. Maybe you can talk about the brain breaks that are maybe 2 3 minutes when where the class stop teach stop teaching, stop listening, stop at the focus of the class, and maybe they can relax and not forgive the everything that the teacher have explained. So it's just a break to keep the class in maybe 3 4 minutes, uh, focus at 100%. Or for example, one of the activities that I loved while I was um, a student was beat the teacher, because I think it's an activity that uh, I think I'm talking by myself, but 100% of the class will be focused in the class, because if you put the teacher as maybe the last boss, I think the student they are going to be focused on the class, so they need to play against the teacher. So all the class against the teacher. I think it's an activity that all the student will play 100% focus on it. I think those activities doesn't go without teaching. I think I explain better, because um, playful point another is not in another way from teaching. I think is playful point is another way with is another way, not another different another teaching method. It's going hand by hand with teaching. I think it's a very good option to to play in class, because they are going to be focused on the class. Um, Now we are going to talk about GBL, gamification, and serious game. For example, GBL is teach through games that I think maybe you can only choose sometimes, but not too often, because you are playing with the rules of the game. So I think maybe some games don't have any rule that you can use in your teaching class. For example, I think gamification is a better one, because you only use the parts that you want from the games. So for example, if you want for example, from one activity you want to use the, and maybe if the game have 5 rules and you only like the second one and the third one, you can use only those rules and don't use doesn't use the other 3 ones. So I think it's a good one. And now we have a serious game. Is that you get the game to teach another activity that is very good option, but I think is more difficult because a serious games you need to think a lot and you need to maybe create the activity for the class. So if you are going to talk about another thing in another class, you are going to create another one. I think you need to um, take more time creating the activity, and I think it's more difficult because if you have one class and you are going to be quickly and you don't have enough time to prepare the class, you can use, for example, gamification. You have in your mind some games that are easiest for the class. So you take the rule that you want, maybe the activity that you want from the game, and take it better than serious game or GBL. Now I am going to talk about about some experience from myself. Um, in my opinion, I have done the first practicum last year, so I think that maybe serious games and gamification are the best ways for the class for the playful point, because you are going to say why, because GBL is teach through games, and in this activity when you use GBL, the boys or the girls, maybe the students, are going to be a little bit free, and they are going to they know the rules, they know what they can do, they know what they can't do. So I think it's easier to lost the boys and girls. So I think gamification and serious game are easiest one to do in class. For example, if you have enough time to prepare a class, for example, Dia Andalucía. So, for example, if you have enough time because you know that this class is going to happen because every year you have this class, you have enough time to prepare the rules, prepare the activities, prepare maybe some videos, some worksheet, some cards, some pictures to them to draw. So if you have enough time to prepare activities, I think it's a good one. For example, I have done in my college, I have done in Halloween. The teacher prepared a sheet that was with a lot of activities that we done in Halloween. So you have bats, you have a skeleton, you have zombies, you have sparking, you have a spider, you have eyes, you have swarm. So you have a lot of things that maybe not of all of them know the meanings. So you know that you have Halloween, so you have enough time to prepare the activity for the boys and the girls, and they are going to like the class. Or for example, gamification. I think is a good rule, good way to. Oh, it's a good way to teach because you use the part that you like from the game. So it's a good one. Uh, I think in gamification you can put, for example, a list for the student in class, and you, for example, you make in in the, for example, in January in a month, you make some different activities, and they have a list to put maybe 5 students. You have 5 students, and they have different points. So you can put the student in a ranking, so they can compete each other through the month. Maybe at the end of the year you can put, for example, something more expensive or something that they like much. So I think it's a good option for the boys and girls to compete with each other. So maybe if they compete in the class, they are going to be focused on class. Maybe they are going to listen more. They are going to do all the activities. For example, if you put 5 activities to do at home, So if they do at home bring back to class everything done, you can give them some points. So if you can put you can give them points, I think they are going to do the activities well, and they are going to be focused. They are going to be more focused in class that if you don't give anything to them. Because if you put the activities, for example, you have to do 5 activities and you don't do the activities, and the next day you don't say anything, or at the you for example say 5 activities to do at home, you do the activities and I will give you 5 points per activity. Maybe if they have done the 5 activities, they will give you will give them 25 points. So in the ranking, they are going to go at the top. So I think it's a good option, for example, gamification, to give the student points and make a ranking for them. And at the end of the week, at the end of the month, at the end of the year, you are going to give the some prize, maybe a T-shirt, gummies, maybe for example, is in the next class you can choose a song at the end of the class. For example, some things price that they are going to make some effort to complete, and I think that this is a good option. So guys, we are finishing with the podcast. So if you want to put another way to another thing that you would like me to talk about, you can put in the comments, like, follow, and see you in the next podcast. Bye.